Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, I will be PKing on my friend's level 75 attack pier, which is combat level 88. This is also my first time PKing on a pier, so to switch up the content, I wanted to start off with some normal PvP, and later on I will get into some NH fights at the Ferox Enclave. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the video. For my first couple of fights pier PKing, I wanted to start things off with the MSB to AGS Gmaul. Normally the clips are a bit longer, but since it's pure PvP, you can rely on RNG in almost every fight. One of the best combos as a pier is Dragon Knives into double Gmaul into the Elder Maul. If I wanted to get into NHing at the Ferox Enclave, I had to make sure I was able to stack a lot of damage to secure clean and fast kills. After a few fights of me learning the basics of pier PKing, I realized I have to stay nearly max HP in every fight in order not to die. These fights can end very quick, and almost every PKer can stack your full HP within a single game tick. This has to be by far my favorite account I have PK'd on so far. Unlike main PKing, there's not as much chances or bad RNG. At the beginning of the day, I was doubting myself and thought I wouldn't do as good as I did, but after the first 10 fights, I started to pick up momentum. The thing I like most about this combat bracket is that there's so much different account builds near my combat level. There's some account builds that you have to stay away from, such as the Unskulled Inquisitor build that dominates piers. This build has such a good chance at smiting 52 Prayer. When I first logged into my friend's account, his kill-death ratio was 17 kills with 41 deaths. At the end of the day, I ended up having 30 kills and 5 deaths, bringing his kill-death ratio to 47 kills and 46 deaths. Now that I'm confident in pier PKing, let's head over to the Ferox Enclave to do some NH fights. The first setup will be with a Toxic Staff on the Ancient Spellbook to feel out different setups. For the first couple of fights, I didn't want to bring as much risk. The Toxic Staff is such a good weapon on a pier. Not only can you hit high with Mage, it's also a very strong melee weapon. As some of you can tell, I am pretty decent at NHing, but with being on a pier you take so much damage a lot faster. So I have to get used to eating higher than normal to make sure I don't brew down my mage and waste her stores by only sipping one brew. While having momentum in a pure NH fight, sometimes the best thing to do is to use Smite. They'll have to focus on their HP and also their prayer at the same time, allowing you to do more DPS in the long run. Another good thing to do while NH fighting is to make sure you pull out your staff between hits. It helps with Mei's defensive, and it also makes your opponent worry about mage attacks. With using the Toxic Staff and Dragon Crossbow, you can insta them all with Mage or Range, so it's harder for the opponent to predict when you're going to spec. Some of these clips, you might notice that I'm only doing a 2-way switch instead of a 3-way switch with the Glory. The reason being is so that I could try and one-tick a Fire Surge. Being on the normal spellbook sometimes feels broken. The hits are too consistent, and some players just panic while being under pressure. For this player, all he did was drink his Restores and Brews, and was always one tick too slow on his prayers. My first impression on PKing on a pier was that there was going to be little to no money made. After coming out to the Ferox Enclave, almost every other person was risking at least 2 mil. In some close fights, it ends up being an outlasting fight with your opponent. In this case, I dealt more damage to my opponent, leaving him on the backstep. So they tried to freeze and log out, but I didn't give them the opportunity to do so. Here's a little backstory to this clip. This player was asking me for a fight, but in the back of my head, I recognized his username. While he kept on asking me for a fight, I decided to fight him once. Before fighting him, I told him that it was my second day of pure NHing. This player is a streamer known as 61mil, and he baited me into fighting him knowing it was my second day of pure NHing. This is karma at its finest. He came in for a DDS after a Fire Surge, and I anti-spec'd him while he didn't pray or even single 8 the special attack. I really enjoyed making this video. The pure bracket seems to have a lot of action. And at the Ferox Enclave, other players aren't scared to have a little more risk. I ended up having 18 kills with 6 deaths at Ferox. The total amount of loot PK'd in this video was 73.2 mil. After deaths and all, I'm guessing I made roughly 30 mil from this video. I want to thank you all for making it near the end of the video. I would really appreciate it if you leave a like, a comment, and tell me what you want to see in the future videos. For this week, I will be doing an AGS giveaway donated by Chadicus21. All you have to do to enter is type your RSN. Now it's time to roll out last week's giveaway. Congrats to John Shelby in winning 5 mil. Until next time, Kids New 07.